The United States has launched a devastating strike against Iran's nuclear infrastructure. It's completely destroying 3 facilities in a coordinated night operation. The world awakened to witness one of the most significant escalations in Middle Eastern tensions in recent years, with global powers now scrambling to respond. Despite publicly ruling out direct American involvement just days earlier, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has dramatically reversed course, throwing Britain's full support behind Trump's bombing campaign. This marks a stunning shift in the UK's Middle Eastern policy as the crisis with Tehran intensifies. Downing Street released an official statement clarifying the government's position. Iran's nuclear program represents a grave threat to international security. Iran cannot be permitted to develop nuclear weapons, and the United States has acted to eliminate that threat. The Middle Eastern situation remains volatile, with regional stability being our priority. We urge Iran to resume negotiations and pursue diplomatic solutions to end this crisis. The message was carefully measured, yet firm. Starmer's government backs the American strikes, while simultaneously advocating for diplomatic resolution to prevent full-scale warfare. However, this represents a notable policy reversal. Just 5 days ago, Starmer publicly declared his certainty that America would not become directly involved in Middle Eastern fighting. Now American bombers have struck deep into Iranian territory. With full British endorsement, Donald Trump confirmed the operation shortly after midnight UK time, declaring that America had completely obliterated 3 Iranian nuclear sites. He emphasized this sent a message not only to Tehran but to the entire world. Trump stated, "We desire peace, but if Iranian aggressors continue their provocations, there will be severe consequences." This represents classic Trump diplomacy, projecting strength, warning of escalation, while keeping diplomatic channels open. Make no mistake, this constitutes major escalation. Israel responded swiftly and enthusiastically, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praising the strikes in glowing terms. He called Trump's decision bold and historically significant, adding that history would record President Trump's actions in preventing the world's most dangerous regime from acquiring the world's most dangerous weapons. For Israel, which views Iranian nuclear ambitions as an existential threat, this wasn't merely a military strike, but a pivotal turning point. However, Tehran isn't retreating. Iran's response has been explosive, with their foreign minister labeling the attacks outrageous and criminal, warning of everlasting consequences. If you're finding this analysis helpful, consider subscribing for more in-depth coverage of developing international stories. Iran's official statement reads, "This morning's events are outrageous and will have everlasting consequences." Every United Nations member should be alarmed by this extremely dangerous, lawless, and criminal behavior. This isn't mere angry rhetoric, but a clear signal that Iran will retaliate, potentially spiraling the situation further. Where does this leave Britain? Keir Starmer finds himself precariously positioned, supporting American airstrikes that could drag the West into broader regional conflict just days after assuring the public no such escalation was imminent. The pivot from certainty to full support raises serious questions about the government's foresight and ability to accurately read global developments. With Iran openly threatening long-term retaliation, the risk of wider confrontation involving Israel, America, and potentially NATO allies has reached unprecedented levels. The next 48 hours could prove pivotal. Will Iran retaliate militarily? Will additional Western nations choose sides? Can diplomacy survive after such decisive and destructive action? Meanwhile, domestic controversy erupts as Nigel Farage's efficiency unit reveals customer surveys distributed to asylum seeker hotels, gathering resident feedback on various issues. Reform Party boss Zia Youssef sounded alarms over feedback forms circulated in migrant accommodation, suggesting taxpayers would be infuriated. The Wakefield District Health and Care Partnerships Engagement Survey asks migrants about their most important needs upon hotel arrival. Responses range from Wi-Fi concerns to music preferences and English lessons, all supposedly for tailoring health services. Specific migrant priorities include clothing, language assistance, mobile phone access, internet connectivity, and hospital services. One respondent noted, preferring quiet environments due to hearing issues. while another explained needing everything after arriving by boat with sea-damaged clothes. Yusuf blasted these revelations as wickedness, arguing hard-working taxpayers are dismayed by bureaucrats prioritizing illegal migrants over citizens. He emphasized these aren't customers, but taxpayer-funded individuals, many illegally present. This controversy follows revelations that Kent taxpayers fund television licenses and cinema outings for illegal migrants, while British Army veteran George Ford, suffering PTSD after being shot in Afghanistan, lost emergency accommodation priority to Afghan refugees. The international crisis continues developing rapidly, with global powers watching and preparing for whatever comes next.